One of these investments was actually left to me.
Okay, here we are.
Base camp. I think everybody's going to be able to dig this, and I'll be able to share almost physically what's in here with every sub. But I'm going to start with a letter or just a notice and scoot that out of the way. Here we are at base camp. I'm not a big investor, and I lived off grid in Alaska for a long time. So, if you've been watching me, you know that I'm getting ready to head out on the Eastern Sierra, Death Valley, the whole thing, and I'll be all over. Now, one of these investments was actually left to me. And the reason I want to show it to you, it is a physical thing in a way, and it was left to me by my father, and my real father, my biological father, who I didn't know very well. But I've kept it, and I took it out of here so I can show you, and it's actually helped me throughout the years. I've been able to actually make money on this, and I bet you have one in your garage, in your shed, or somewhere. So anyway, this is basically, okay, I can just tell you what this is. And one of the investments, real tangible investments I made so I could keep riding the bike and, hopefully get my land soon, buy another one of these sheds, a Connex box, is I went up to work for a guy. If you know, I'm a carpenter. If you don't know, if you've watched me before, you know. And I can build stuff, built a bunch of houses and cabins and commercial buildings. But last spring, I was invited up to do a project in the Sierras near Sonora, California, an Airbnb project, and it was a kind of a friend, an acquaintance, and he said, hey, I don't have a lot of money. I can't pay your big normal construction wages, but he says, I got a nice cabin for you, and I'll feed you, and we'll feed you really well if you'll help us build these 6 cabins, real small cabins. 12 by 16, a 12 by 12, and a bathhouse unit. So I took the bike, which is over here, and I did a trip over the Sierras after that. Okay, I'm above Silver Lake in the high country now. This lake is still frozen. It's starting to thaw out. Made a little lunch, heated up some beans, having something to eat, fixing up my first aid stuff, and trucking along, making good time today. But the story here is I wasn't going to make a lot of money, and I thought, well, I'll just do it for the experience. But he said, hey, when we're all done, we open up and we make some money, I'll be able to share some with you. Sort of an investment, right? And there was no contract or anything. I just thought, well, that'll either happen or it won't happen. And so months later down the road, yesterday, I got my first little installment from him. Now, this is a year. It's almost been a year since I did this project. And it's enough right now to, keep some things rolling. Now, I work, too, in the morning online, a couple hours, and I sell a few books, which is up there. And, I make a little bit of money, and I do some side projects like that one. And that was really important because at the time, I was hesitant, and then I thought, just go for it. This is a great guy, great place to be. It was a great family, and but the whole family wasn't around the whole time. It was just him, and then it was just me by myself. And I actually watched his dogs for him too. So long-term kind of investment for me, and more coming. So anyway, they've been able to rent out the place, and it's near Yosemite, so the place is booked. And so I'll get a little kick down every once in a while. And the great thing about this kind of stuff is I don't expect it. It's like my book. I don't sell very many. But it's like, hey, all of a sudden I got enough for some groceries one day. It's all kind of like these little things that come in. That's been my investment, other than this thing I'm going to tell you about. And I have a lot of friends who've invested in, let's say, even certain soils that don't sell too well. Certain things that just didn't really go over too well. There was, they were high risk investments. Now, I'm all about investing in something that, that I believe in, or it's been kind of proven. I know that's kind of weird to say, how can it be a real investment? But High risk stuff, of course, I can't do right now. I don't have the capital for it. And if you do, I'm all behind you on that. I think it's great. But for me, as a person who wants to live on the bike and still have a base camp, my land somewhere, have a shed, a Connex box for now, and then build my place eventually. So the most important thing that I have, and I'm going to show you right now so you can get the camera right here, is what's in here. And it's what's kept me going. So let's get rid of the bag here. Oh, look at there. Stay with me. Why is it empty? It's true. No thing. There is no thing in there. Now, I'm not saying my dad left me no thing, which he really didn't, or he did leave me no thing. I didn't know him very well, and anyway, but bottom line is that really being left with not having a big, whatever you call it, a trust fund. I'm not a trust funder, or having any sort of investments coming from like prior family things or houses, or left with, I don't have anything except what I have right here around me. Now, the little money that comes in is great. But that no thing has motivated me to, hey, I'm just going to get to where I am. Look how successful I am. I am successful, and I feel great about where I am. I don't have a lot of stuff. Having no things, not a lot of things, I should say, is good for me right now. Eventually I'll have my land, but I'm still not going to want a lot of things. The last things my dad said, my real father said, and he was a rancher. He was a real cowboy. He had cattle. He trained horses, big. And he had this huge spread, huge house, huge land, and a couple of places in California. And when he was dying, I didn't hear this from him, but my aunt said he was looking at everything, and he said, what was all the... He couldn't grasp what it was all for and why he had worked so hard for it. And he did work hard. And that's the feeling that he got in his death time, was, what did I do with my life? And so anyway, he was a great guy. I just didn't know him very well. My stepfather raised me. Anyway, so the no thing part is, you don't have to have my story, my backstory about having no things. That's been the biggest gift. No thing I can think of, no tangible thing that's ever been given or left to me. I can't even think of anything that's done me any good. It's always been the lessons and the tools, or the lessons that I use as tools, not anything else, not the stuff, not the things, Here's an empty computer box. I'm filming from it right now. But, really, it's empty now. You know where I'm going with it. So the things don't matter. Investments, you can invest and invest and invest. Sometimes you might have to put in a little, not make any money for a while. Just like work for somebody. If you trust them, put the trust in there if you believe in it. And down the road, some money comes in. So that's how I'm doing it. That's how I'm starting off my spring and summer. And along with the help of some of the people who have subscribed on here, everybody helps me just by the motivation. And thank you for the PayPal donations that kind of they trickle in and help me. They help me get groceries sometimes when I'm traveling, and saving up for the camera right now. So these things, this is how I'm turning the wheels. This is how I'm turning the wheel of the bicycle, turning the wheel of my life to keep things rolling at 60 years old with pretty much nothing. Living here and hanging out in the shed isn't bad, and I'm happy. So I hope I can spread some happiness out there and some insight into how I feel about it, and also how I make a little money along the way. And it works for me. I survive this way, and I don't have to ask for money from the government or anyone. I don't take any free stuff. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.